did at least now offer a healthier choice when it came to bread.
The overwhelming consumer demand in the Victorian period is for white bread. But you do start to get people realising that white bread's definitely not as good for you as brown bread. The problem, and the reason that bakers were a bit sniffy about it, is that brown bread in 1900 has a kind of reputation for being not particularly appetising.
Okay.
It is kind of ick.
Victorian wholemeal wasn't as finely milled as the brown flour we now buy in supermarkets.
Oh, it's oatmeal, isn't it? So if you
Yeah,
oatmeal,
oatmeal.
It really is coarse, isn't it? That. Duncan.
And to make a product which these days we think of as healthy, the Victorians added some surprising ingredients.
2 ounces of lard, 1 ounce of sugar, as well.
Lard has just got such a distinctive flavour that isn't going to make a very good breakfast, lunch and afternoon bread.
Wholemeal bread was generally described by the Victorians as invalid food.
The people that would have eaten this were the people who are, of slightly iller health.
Are we suggesting it might be people who are a little bunged up, shall we say?
Yeah,
In the bowel region. Yes. So this is bread that will be enjoyed 3 times. Once in anticipation of buying it, the other one in consumption, and the other one in remembrance.
Trust you to load it home. I mean, we know that this isn't going to make a decent sandwich bread.
It's a different product,
Yeah.
isn't it? You don't ever think you're going to get the same rise out of wholemeal from this era.
We can deliver the health benefits. That's easy. But delivering the health benefits in something that somebody wants to come back and buy again and eat on a regular basis, you've got to just make it ever so slightly different.
How to make bread palatable as well as healthy was a challenge the late Victorians were grappling with. And the person who cracked it created a brand still very much with us today.
In 1899, one bread company published a guide to England and Wales for users of the recently invented safety bicycle. For the bread company, cycling was a brilliant fit with its newest product, a golden bread flour that they claimed was tastier and healthier than anything currently on the market. Its USP was wheat germ, the vitamin-packed heart of the grain. Victorian millers generally removed the wheat germ because, left in flour, it could quickly go off. How could you put it back in the bread without having it go rancid? Well, the answer came from here, Stone in Staffordshire. Behind me is the mill where Richard Smith, known as Stoney to his friends, was born and grew up. He worked out that steaming the wheat germ with a little salt stopped the flour going off. Stoney added his cooked wheat germ back into the flour, about 1/5 wheat germ to 4/5 flour. Basically, this was a white loaf, but just that little bit better for you. Soon, he teamed up with a large firm of millers in Macclesfield to mass produce this new blend. At first, they called it Smith's Patent Germ Flour. It's not the catchiest of names, even by Victorian standards. So, they held a national competition to try and come up with a more marketable name. It was won, £25 the grand prize, by a student called Herbert Grime. He took a Latin phrase, hominis vis, which translates as the strength of man, and made it a bit more catchy and modern. How? By slicing it up. Some might say it was £25 well spent, given that the runner-up name was Yum Yum. It was extensively promoted. Bakers were only allowed to use Stoney's flour in tins stamped with the new name. The Victorians pretty much invented branding as we know it today. Advertising and sponsorship during the era became ever more sophisticated. Which brings us back to our cycling map. It was produced, of course, by Hovis, and they marked on it all the places that a hungry cyclist could be guaranteed to get Hovis bread. It was a brilliant piece of marketing. It encouraged the cyclist to ask for the bread by name, but it also encouraged potential places of refreshment to stock it. By 1895, 1 million of Stony Smith's loaves were being sold every week. He'd proved not just that bread could be healthier, but that people liked the idea of buying a name they recognised wherever they were in Britain. Other firms rapidly followed suit.
These big bread brands, they're going to be able to undercut small bakeries, and that must have been quite a worrying situation for independent bakers.
I think it was a logical progression. We've seen the Victorians want to be industrialised and not localised, and I think the branding would be exactly the same thing. Big is beautiful, big is better.
I mean, I could see